I spend an amazing 48 hours traveling from Asheville, North Carolina in the United States all the way to Seoul, South Korea, making the epic sojourn entirely in first and business class. Now on to part 2 of my adventure. Having completed my American Airlines first class segment to Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport, I'm now looking forward to some time in the fabled TK Business Lounge, followed by the jewel in this journey's crown, the new Turkish Airlines flagship, the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, flying from DC to the glorious new Istanbul airport. Join me on my adventure and decide whether the experience is everything Turkish Airlines touts. Anyway, onward to our self-transfer. So we're going to have to exit the terminal, grab our ridiculously heavy bags, and by our I mean my ridiculously heavy bags, and drag them to the departure hall to check in for our Turkish Airlines flight. And I actually saw the Turkish Airlines plane. I'm pretty certain that we're taking. Damn, I should have gotten footage of it. Oh well. So we're going to go check in and see how this adventure continues. Hopefully head to the Turkish Airlines Lounge. Okay. More later. Right, so we've checked in. It was actually very painless. Bags were already waiting for me at the American Airlines baggage thing. I took the time to fill out that QR code thing, and apparently it wasn't needed to check in. And oh well, probably I'll need it on the side when I board from Istanbul. So went smoothly. The counter was open by the time I got here at 1:45, and so now it's on back through security, back to the exact same terminal I was. In fact, almost back to the exact point from which I entered this airport, Dulles. Onward with the adventure. Okay, right, just the hat. Look at that charming hat here. Oh yeah, that's a sexy look. Okay, so we are through TSA and we used our clear to get through, and I have to say there was not a single person in line, so I feel cheated because I didn't get to jump the line at all. I just walked to the front because there was no one there. So we're now going to go back onto the little train that we took to get here and go exactly back to the point from which we started here at Dulles. Yay for circular journeys. This is a ridiculously joyful moment. I can walk to gate B. I don't have to take the train. This feels like a small Contessa victory. I know, it's trite, but look, I'm going with it, folks. On this flight, we have the distinct pleasure of experiencing the latest model of wide-body jets in the Turkish Airlines fleet, the jewel in its crown, the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. At least, I hope it will be a pleasure. This is my first time on a TK Dreamliner, so expectations are suitably high. Ooh, look at those charming bags under my eyes. Well, here we are at the Turkish Airlines Lounge at Dulles. Let's go in and explore. It's been a couple of years since I was last here, so this should be exciting to see how it's changed or not changed. Oh, I did want to make one note. When I was looking for the Turkish Airlines counter on landside to check in, the gentleman who helped me actually remarked that Turkish Airlines has a pretty fantastic lounge. So it's apparently legendary even amongst local staff. So let's see if it lives up to that hype. The lounge is sadly very crowded due to the fact that it also serves as a priority pass lounge. So I cannot give you a full tour, but let these fleeting images whet your appetite to finagle your way into the doors on your next Dulles flight. Like its much meatier Istanbul cousin, the TK Lounge at Dulles is an elegant, warm space that evokes sophisticated accommodations from an Ottoman past. Although small, it offers quite a bit for its petite size, including showers, a full-service bar, and a buffet with absolutely top-caliber food, and that's coming from someone who's a religious devotee of food. The buffet features a limited but adequate salad bar and hot dishes that practically force me to go back for seconds. You know, kicking and screaming like. Anyway, today we have a lovely combination of Turkish and Moroccan flavors. Jeweled rice, chicken tagine, lamb and beef kofta, luscious lentil soup, perfectly prepared vegetables, and creamy katchik and hummus. And yes, dear viewer, I go for it all. And why not? Actually, were I not about to board a Turkish Airlines flight with its amazing culinary offerings, I would go back for seconds or even thirds. But I must save my Contessa appetite to have room for at least one meal on board our Dreamliner carriage. And there it is, folks, the legendary Lufthansa Boeing 747. They have started flying her again, and it looks like she might stay in operation for a little while longer. And there, right next to it, is the silly people mover that they have at Dulles Airport. Isn't that a charming, quaint antique from a bygone era? So I'm going to do something that people don't normally do in these reviews, I'm going to wax rhapsodic about the broccoli. Yes, that's right. The broccoli that they served on the buffet was amazing. It was perfectly al dente. It was rich and flavorful with butter and garlic, perfectly salted. So was the cauliflower. I mean, actually, all the food was amazing, but the broccoli, I will dream about that broccoli. And you should too, dear viewer. Well, all done in the Turkish Airlines Lounge. I noticed that my seat, I'd asked it to be changed because I was in one of the outer seats and the way they're staggered, and I wanted one right next to a window, and they put me in a window one, but it's an 8K, which means it's the very back of the plane, right next to the galley, or the plane, very back of the business class area, which means it's next to the galley, which means it could be loud at various times when I don't want it to be. So I'm going to go see if I can get that changed. How many times can the Contessa change her seat? Anyway, to the gate, let's go. We're all the way here at gate 37, 3 gates down. I think we can make it. Indeed, I reach the gate in a timely fashion and board after a brief wait. I'm welcome normally on board, the first passenger to arrive in the cabin. My first impression? While the seating is certainly eye-catching, the cabin itself lacks the elaborate geometric patterns and colors that I so love on older TK planes. Being said, this piece of applied art is my domain for the flight. As you can see, the whole affair is rather sleek, with great thought put into its bells and whistles. Here, for instance, a control panel for sophisticated lighting in various directions. The seat itself sports a jaunty design and a lovely coordinating pillow. Martha Stewart would certainly approve. Another neat feature about these seats, unknown to many people, the armrests on either side can be raised or lowered by a touch of a button, thus widening the sleeping area for side sleepers such as yours truly, or for people of, a larger girth. Here is one of my favorite features of Dreamliners, the LED smart windows with control panel. I can be such a child, but man, this is a great toy. In the footwell are awaiting these items. The Eco Package contains my lounging blanket, and the bottom one holds the megafauna-sized padded slippers that are definitely a step up from the other airlines' offerings. The footwell looks pretty narrow, but to provide an idea of the footwell's actual size, here is my patented Contessa boot measuring system for scale. Okay, enough fooling around. Time to engage in the ritual of unpacking for today's 9-hour, 50-minute flight. Now, where to put all this crap? All this expensive equipment that I utilize for gainful employment. Well, maybe someday. Right now, these videos don't make me anything. As far as seat storage goes, these Dreamliner seats really fall short, especially compared to older planes. Specifically, you have the footwell area and then minimally this little table console cabinet, as you will see in a moment. So let's explore our new domain. This is a lovely new product and it has some interesting little bells and whistles. Bell number 1, a cute little mirror so that you can stare at yourself while you fly. Charming bit of narcissism. And behind this door is our headphones. Nice sound-canceling headphones, hypothetically sanitized and ready to go. Interestingly, you don't have to sign for these, unlike on the flight here. This is also where your outlets are, and they've got a USB outlet plus all of the different types of outlets you could possibly have worldwide, I think. And here is a place for hanging your headphones. And here is the little storage cabinet to the right, holding everything of mine it can, which is really just my power cable. There is this nice table area for drinks and snacks and random crap. Unfortunately, I noticed that 8K is definitely not the seat you want. It's smaller in all ways. And the seat in front of me, as you can see in this overlay, has a bigger table and more room and everything. But I'm going to see once everyone's on board if I can change. Here is the controller for the in-flight entertainment system, so you can play games on it. And I think you can also watch what's on the big screen here on this little screen, which seems excessive. And this is where the table hides. And, yep, okay. Little force is required. It pulls out, comes all the way here. It's decently sized. It's definitely not as big as the one on the Boeing 777-300. And also, it seems that once you're out and laid, you're committed. It doesn't move anywhere. After forcing the table back into place, I noticed something that irrationally excites me, the way it irrationally excites many frequent travelers. Holy of holies, adjustable individual air vents. The chef just came and brought our menu, and so wine menu and food menu, drink menu, and they're equally sized, so you can kind of see where the priorities are.
So what do we have? For the appetizer, you can order Turkish meze, mozzarella and tomatoes, and or creamy pumpkin soup and garden fresh salad. I will probably be getting all three of those. The Turkish meze, the creamy pumpkin soup, and the garden salad. We have grilled sea bass. We have filet of beef. We have penne with Parmesan sauce. Wait, why is my seat moving? And then for dessert, we have pineapple and mango cake, coffee and chocolate lava cake. Ooh, I might break my stricture against refined sugar and grains for that. What do you say, dear viewer? Should I go for the lava cake? At least I can take my mask off for this at least. And then selection of cheese and fresh fruit salad. Well, I might be getting 3 of those 4 things. Pineapple and mango cake. Blah, mango cake is disgusting even though I love mango. So the chef is going through the cabin and taking people's orders, and I think I'm gonna go for the sea bass. See what happens to it. The filet of beef might be less likely to be a mean tennis ball, but I love sea bass. Risk it? I don't know. I wish you were actually with me, dear viewer, to help me decide. Well, the chef just came by and took my order, and he was so kind as to recommend a wine to go with. I went with the sea bass. I did it. You only live once, right? What bullshit. Anyway. He suggested the Turkish white wine, Sauvignon Blanc, I think. So I'm going with that, and we shall see how it goes. I forgot to ask for other beverages, though, alongside, so I might have to chase someone down for that because, yeah, dehydration on a plane, it's not helped by wine.
So somewhere in this whole ritual, they did bring around signature welcome drinks, but I neglected to capture the moment. Ah well. Dulles being the travel hub for a great many embassies, we push back and taxi past a variety of interesting international airlines with their festive livery, a bit like a United Nations roll call, really. The TK Boeing 787-9 is laid out in a 1-to-1 configuration, with the window seats actually being staggered in such a way that the console table is either closer to the window or the seat is. In my opinion, the pods with the seats closer to the window, like mine, actually feel more enclosed, forcing one to slip through a gap to get to one's seat. Frankly, they make me feel claustrophobic.
So under my flight, we have this neat live camera thing, and I can choose forward or forward down. Oof, forward down makes me sick. We're gonna go with just forward. And then we can watch takeoff from our seat. That is forward down. That is how things look below us.
Well, now that we're in the air, let's play with the sleek control panel in the seat table console. This button triggers the little light above the cabinet. This one controls the overhead light. Seat incline controls. Do not disturb button so that no one bothers me in an attempt to stuff more food into a body not ready to receive it. Button to summon the flight attendant so that I can bother them. Button to cancel my summons if I did not mean to bother them. And this button turns the display on or off so that I can slip easily into a food coma. I need merely push that button to douse the light. And speaking of, a neat thing about this display is that you can easily tilt it forward or backward. TV in bed. Now that's luxury.
So the screen is super responsive. I can put it in any language I can't even read. That won't be helpful to you. Okay, I put it back in English. So we've got movies, TV programs, live television, music.
The entertainment program is super extensive and more than I certainly have time for on my flight. Once we reach cruising altitude, they bring around this sacred, sweet-smelling hot towel of wonder. And I commence the ritual of pre-dinner seat bathing. Hey, no one can see me. Why not? I cannot possibly be the only person who works up a sweat wandering around airports. I make use of that summoning button and put in a request for a cup of tea. Sadly, a bag of tea sweepings rather than the whole leaf luxury. Hashtag tea snobbery. Well, they just delivered our toiletry kits. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside this lovely little thing. Versace Parfum. It's a nice color, different color from the other one. The other one was brown. I didn't really like it, but I like this green. Ooh, seems everything inside is green. Got some fuzzy socks made out of petrochemicals. We have a Versace. Well, if it's a sample, it certainly doesn't really smell like anything. But it's an advert. This time, fashionable. It looks like a bra in the camera, but it's actually a nice eye mask. Look at that. Really nice.
your stickers to alert the crew as to what you would like them to do while you sleep. Refreshing and fresh scented mist, also by Versace. Well, maybe gone forever. Versace Eros moisturizing lotion. I'll be using that directly. The hair is already drying me out crazily. We have lip balm, which I think actually has beeswax in it. Oh, it actually has shea butter in it, which isn't bad. And beeswax. And last but not least, earplugs in a cute little green thing. So everything's green and blue. It's kind of pretty, actually. I like it. And this kit is actually not bad in and of itself. It actually has little pockets in here. Pretty spacious, feels pretty sturdy. So all in all, I think it's a pretty good toiletry kit. I just wish it were actually made of leather instead of pleather. Oh well. Hashtag Contessa World problems. Yep. So they've just served us our pre-dinner gourmet toasted nuts. A fine blend of pistachios, hazelnuts, almonds, and no wasting time on junk nuts like cashews or peanuts. Yay! And the table is laid with this nice tablecloth that I call food colored because it will pretty much hide any stains. I prefer white, but I guess this is a clever option for a plane. So table is laid. We have our condiment tray, which I really love. You've got your olive oil, your Turkish spice blend with oregano and thyme and rose petals and Aleppo pepper, yummy looking butter, and that little newborn baby beanie is actually a bread beanie, which I still think is just too cute. Yes, I did get some bread because, well, there's a beanie and it needs bread in it, right? Follow that logic. Anyway, LED candle for ambiance. Water to go with my wine in proper 15th century Contessa fashion. And unfortunately, they're still doing these plastic wrapped paper napkins instead of cloth napkins. Oh well. So it never fails. There will be something wrong. I just have that kind of mojo. So unfortunately, the outlet in my seat does not work, which is bad for doing work with my laptop. But the flight attendants were most helpful. First, we tried resetting the system. That didn't work. But they have another seat that they said I can go use and I can plug in there and do work there if I want to. So very, very friendly, super helpful, good sense of humor, good service, Turkish Air. So while I was playing around, as Contessas do, I noticed that those beautiful porcelain salt and pepper shakers that I adore so much are actually magnetized to stay on this platter. And indeed, there are magnets on the bottom of that little porcelain platter. I wonder how many of these they lost to turbulence before they decided to start magnetizing them. Okay, first course is served. That is lovely cream of pumpkin soup, an adorable little salad with its own separate container of glass bottle of olive oil. And these are the Turkish meze. That's smoked eggplant on roasted bell pepper, chicken breast with tabbouleh, and I believe that is kaçik. Yummy. Okay, time to dig in.
Everything is as delicious as it looks. Rich soup, flavorful meze, just excellent.
They have just delivered the main course. Look at that beautiful sea bass and Tuscan braised vegetables and fingerling potatoes roasted. And that, dear friends, right there, that is a fish knife. They actually served it with the proper utensil. Well, let's find out if it's a mean tennis ball or gently melting fish.
And the fish passes the knife test. Lovely, flavorful flakes that do not offer up any resistance, and certainly none sufficient to play a court sport. And of course, topped with some of the scrumptious spice blend. Don't forget to make use of that if you're on this flight. Overall, the entree is quite good. The potatoes the right firmness, the vegetables flavorful rather than textured water. But wow, not certain who ate at this table, but they definitely made a mess. Couldn't have been me. And now the only part of the meal that my mother ever fully eats, dessert. I've chosen the delectable fresh fruit cup and the lava cake, whose soporific effects I hope to counter with a stiff cup of Turkish chai.
This lava cake is amazing, especially because I took the mint leaf from the fruit and put it on the lava cake.
it's really quite chocolatey. That's impressive because I have high standards of cacao, and this almost meets them. It's worth eating. I'll finish it. Well, now that I'm fed, time for bed, and that aforementioned food coma. Once I return from the bathroom, I find that they have transformed my seat into a more bed-like feature with a coordinating mattress pad, pillow, and luxurious bedspread. All I have to do is coax the seat into its lie-flat position at the pace of glacial retreat, arrange the blanket prettily to ensure better sleep, and climb in. And here is the finished product. And here is the consequence of the finished product: full food coma. 5 hours later, I awaken to light creeping under my bra-like eye mask and to the tinkle of breakfast service. But sadly, I wish to never see food again, or at least for another several hours. Sorry, dear viewer. Despite these options for breakfast, my body is begging for a stay of execution on the ingestion of further comestibles. So, let us go tour the bathroom instead. Okay, I can see how you might think those two are connected, but they're really not. So I will say this bathroom is much less luxurious than its older cousin, the Boeing 777 on which we flew here. It's much colder, it has none of the nice touches. Same toiletries, but tiny sink, which just gets water everywhere. However, there is one interesting feature that is different here. This one actually comes with a bidet, basically. Got all these great functions for however you wish to clean your bum using water. It does have a changing table, and it also has this interesting little pocket here. And of course, full-length mirror for infinite Contessa effect. It's certainly more spacious than the economy class bathrooms, but it's still not terribly luxurious. And I will say that the economy class passengers keep coming back here to use it, and I'm kind of starting to take umbrage to that. If you want to use business class amenities, pay the business class price. Instead of breakfast, all I had was this tea. 2 of them. It was very good, and it was served in a very warm, friendly manner. But, sorry, it's an exciting tea anyway. Check it out. It's got this neat energy thing going on. Green tea and all these other esoteric additives, yatta and sage and some other things that are almost medicinal in quality, but still, perhaps not the breakfast you might like to see me reviewing. Maybe next time. Well, time to get some more work done, which also means charging my microphones. Turns out I've been recording for some time with no sound. Yay for voiceovers! While bustling industriously, the flight attendants pass out another round of magical hot towels, perfect for a morning seat bath. As office space goes, this certainly suits my rarefied tastes, I have to say. Not to mention the views, which are literally rarefied. The Balkans are disgustingly photogenic, distractingly so. And now for my favorite part of a business class experience, packing up my crap. I swear, someday I will have a lady-in-waiting with me to handle such tasks. And it's not that I think they're below me, it's that I suck at organizing. Too soon, we start our descent into Istanbul. Unfortunately for me, there's a deeply melancholic baby in business class, and the poor little creature's ears cannot handle the pressure change. We are therefore treated to a chorus of woe the entire way to the terminal. I mean, Greek tragedies have nothing on this baby. I've deleted that audio. You're welcome. Overall, I loved my ride on this Turkish Airlines Dreamliner and would happily ride again. But I would definitely choose the aisle window seats, which offer much more space and feel more like thrones rather than the man-eating pods bent on consuming me. The accommodations were ultimately extremely comfortable and the service good, with the food and beverages ranging from decent to gluttonously decadent. So what about you, dear viewer? Have you flown on the TK Dreamliner, or maybe that of another airline? What are your favorite features? Please share your experiences in the comments below. Well, 20 hours of my 48-hour journey down. Just 28 little hours to go. Coming up on the next episode, supposedly a free hotel room for my layover, the Turkish Airlines Business Class Lounge at Istanbul Airport, and an exciting tulip-laden excursion into the historic city itself. In the meanwhile, travel creative and stay tuned for your moment of cutie zen. Since my house tiger is so far away, here is someone else's here in Funchal in Madeira.